Hey guys, it's Godbars here, the self-proclaimed hip-hop historian, and this is the 126th episode of my series where I grab a vinyl from my collection, talk about why I love it, what influence it had, and what its place is in the grand scheme of hip-hop. So, as you can tell, we've looped back around once again, meaning it's time to cover some more Golden Age classics. For this set, I'm making a couple of slight changes though. For starters, I'm doing 15 picks instead of the usual 5 I've been doing for 80s classics. That way I can share a few more than usual to catch up to the plethora I've done from all the other decades. I also decided to do a few that dropped in 1990 for a number of reasons. There's a good chance that nobody really even cares about which decade I'm tackling, and there's probably not going to be too much outrage about that one extra year. But then I realized I'd already done this before anyway with my Digital Underground review, and I explained in that one how, despite the release date technically falling in the 90s, just like the ones I picked for this group, the sound they use is a lot more commonly associated with what we now know as Golden Age hip hop. I also noticed that despite my sets for 90s LPs being about 5 times the number I usually do for the Golden Age groups, I still have yet to make much of a dent on the pantheon of classics from the 90s. So when it comes to albums that came out right at the cusp of that decade starting, it makes more sense to talk about them in this section. However, the classic we're discussing today actually doesn't fall under that umbrella as it was released in 1988, though the rapping is so far ahead of its time it might as well be 1990. Big Daddy Kane is a name that you really can't avoid even if you only wade in the shallow end of the hip-hop pool of knowledge, as anyone you consider a GOAT has most likely shown him the utmost respect, if not directly put them in their top 5 of all time. If you were discussing specifically the late 80s and early 90s, most fellow legends and fans alike would probably have Kane on their Mount Rushmore of MCs. And that's no coincidence, as this was one of the guys who really revolutionized not just how rappers flow, but how they write and structure bars in general. Just like his fellow pioneer Rakim, Big Daddy Kane was starting and ending his lines in places most of his contemporaries would never consider, helping to open the door for a whole new league of rhyming. But arguably the largest contribution Kane gave to the game was his undeniable character and charisma on the mic. A great representation of his immense stage presence comes in the form of a clip from a live performance that I love, where Kane has this excessive pimp-esque outfit on, and as he freestyles, he pretends to accidentally fumble and drop the mic. The music stops for a second and he then picks it up, dusts it off, and without missing a beat, comes back with a line referencing the mic drop that just happened, while still having it connect and rhyme to the previous bar that came before he dropped it. It's even more impressive when you think about how it was pre-planned, meaning everyone involved had to be perfectly in sync for this one little golden moment, where after Kane picks up the mic and dusts it off, he says, "Drop shit and still make it look good." As I mentioned in my Disposable Arts video a while back now, Kane was a member of the legendary Juice Crew, alongside Masta Ace, Craig G, Roxanne Shante, Biz Markie, Marley Marl, MC Shan, and another legend who's on my Mount Rushmore of MCs personally, Cool G Rap. Another aspect of the lineage Big Daddy Kane has built is he wasn't one of the OGs who had classic records in the late 80s, but then couldn't keep up with the advancing pace going into the 90s. I mean, to be fair, it's pretty hard to fall out of relevancy when you played such a pivotal role in pushing the game forward yourself, but Kane set himself apart even further by collaborating with the rising talents of that new decade. One of the best examples of this is when he put together one of my favorite posse cuts of all time, Show and Prove, which featured a killer lineup including Sauce Money, Scoob Lover, Shaheem the Rugged Child, who was literally a child at the time but still kills it, Old Dirty Bastard, and a relatively young Jay-Z, with an appearance that actually preceded his debut album by a couple of years. Kane would actually collaborate even more frequently when the 2000s came around, but the last studio album he released was in 1998 with Veterans Day, which capped off his pretty impressive run of LPs in the 90s. With Long Live the Kane, we're given 10 songs that get right to the point, with front-to-back Marley Marl production supporting the masterclass in MCing that BDK gives us here. We even get a guest appearance by the late absolute legend Biz Markie, and while it's just the one feature, honestly that's more than you get from the vast majority of rap albums released before 1990, as it was kind of the pre-feature era as I've coined in earlier videos. It definitely sounds like there's a feature from Scoob Lover at one point, it just doesn't seem to be listed anywhere from what I can find, and of course Kane's DJ Mr. C played a vital role as well. Not that a lack of any other performers is a big issue on Kane's debut here, considering how chock full of iconic beats, singles, and lines it is. Few, if any, phrases are more thoroughly referenced in hip hop than Ain't No Half Steppin', and with the technical ability he displays there and just about everywhere else on this thing, it's no wonder why so many minds were just blown by his style when it came out. To give a little example of his revolutionary pen, a little stanza I've always enjoyed is when he says, "Let it roll, get bold, I just can't hold back or fold, 'cause I'm a man with soul. In control and effect, so what the heck? Rock the discotheques and this groove is what's next. Attack, react, exact, the Mac will move you with a strong song. As long as you groove to this, I keep the crowd loud when you're hype. Do damage on stage and injure the mic. As I shoot the gift, MCs stand stiff, while my rhymes stick to you like Skippy or Jif. Feel my blood fist or my death kiss. The rap soloist, you don't want none of this." For my favorites on this one, I'm gonna leave out Ain't No Half Steppin' because I already discussed that iconic track, and instead have my three favorites as Set It Off, The Day You're Mine, and Just Rhyming with Biz. My honorable mentions on here would probably have to be Raw, the remix, On the Bug Tip, I'll Take You There, and Word to the Motherland. Thank you for watching my 126th video. Next time we're going to knock out another overdue Golden Age pioneer, but this time from the West instead of the East Coast. So look out for that one, and if you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what your favorite songs off this top tier debut LP are. Don't forget to have a great day, and I'll see you next time, okay? Alright.